Boo. Hi guys, Nick here. I'm going to cut Christina's hair. This is Christina. She's one of our models that's been traveling with us all year. And we're going to create a nice top graduation. Feel free to get involved and ask questions. Kim Elisa's here. She's going to be doing our question answering. So if you want to ask a question, talk to Christina. And Aziza, just hold that camera so people can see Aziza. Aziza's another one of our stylists. She's here helping as well too. If I look tired, it's because I am. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning and I flew back from Pensacola, Florida. Okay, and I did a great night there with one of my ambassador salons, Volume 1, and we had a lot of fun, and we had fun with the guys, and it was great, and we had a day of education, and we did a Happy Mondays, and there was a Happy Mondays here. So we've been busy. Who said it was summer? Not me, because I've been working. I just finished some clients, and now it's time for me to show you a tight graduation with the razor. So I've sectioned the hair off from just at the crown, and I've taken this section all the way down to just in front of the ear. The idea now is I'm going to start to take these sections diagonal back. We're going to keep these sections kind of consistent. When you're razor cutting, keep your sections consistent because you're going to be pushing the hair with your blade. I want the hair to drip, so just squeeze out some of that moisture. And let's get started. So my first section, working with my razor comb, and the razor comb is important because of the wide space, the length, and the tautness of this tension here. A little bit bigger than a classic scissor cutting comb. So you'll watch as I walk through this. I rotate the comb, and you'll have to come right in here, Aziza. Do your best, because my blade is going to be hitting the hair. So I comb the hair straight out at about 90 degrees from the head. I get the razor going before I get to touch the hair, and I'm really working on profile. So what I'm doing is I'm using the side of the blade, and have a look and see kind of what you're creating with your cutting. You've really got to think, because what you have in your hand is a mirror image of what you've left on their head. Now my razor motion is very, very soft, and it's literally the finger that does the movement. So it's the finger that's moving, and I'm taking this into 3 sections, and I'm coming down using the flat of the blade. So even though we're taking this in a bit cleaner than we have for a while, I still want to have some softness. And I don't want it to be wispy. So soft but not wispy. Sections nice and clean. And then again, we're going to comb this hair straight out at 90 degrees. And then the blade, can you see the blade, Aziza?
Yes.
Good. And then the blade is just melting that hair away. So get the razor moving before you get there, so that the razor already has the flow. Take a couple of sections. Don't try and do it all in one foul swoop, because one foul swoop, you're not going to be able to get the precision in the cut. As I was teaching class yesterday, we really started to discuss what the razor does create. And we spoke a lot about what is the razor. And the idea is that we say that the razor is a tool for creating magic. And what I mean by that is this is a straight edge razor, but really creates magic because of its sharpness and because of the cleanness as I slowly start to melt the hair away. I'm always looking at what's happening to the hair as I take the hair in nice and taut. And you'll see I'm using the side of the blade, and I'm moving. Now I feel what we call the bite of the blade after every cut. Now the reason why we call this a razor comb is because I like that wide teeth. That enables, the wide teeth enable me to actually give the hair some give. So I'm combing the hair out at 90 degrees. I grab everything You get that razor moving before you get there, using what we call more the flat plane of the blade, and as consistently as possible, I just want to melt that hair away. With the razor moving before I touch the hair, what that means is once I push the blade into the hair, I instantly feel the bite. Now Christina wants to have a shorter cut. She's still going to keep some length through the top, but we're still going to keep some femininity to it. We don't want it to be overtly masculine or harsh. And that's why a razor really lends itself, to short hair, because it gives you that slightly grown out feel. Look at the position of my face. I'm looking right into the hair. As I pick up the hair, comb the hair straight out at 90, I see and feel the hair fall away. And then I just gracefully melt that hair out using the flat of the blade. And I'm getting to know the hair every time I cut it. Yeah? And you'll see the dampness in the hair. The hair's wet to the touch, but it's not dripping. If the hair's too wet, you really can't get a feel for what's going on.
Hello from Spain.
All the way from Spain.
All the way from Spain.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm a Spanish name in the background there. Arrojo.
Arrojo.
But we say Arrojo. Because when I grew up in England, no one could pronounce it the Spanish way. So I just told all the teachers to say it the way that it's read. And I've kept it exactly the same since.
Okay, Arrojo Cosmetology School. Students are watching.
Good. Hey guys, I hope you're having a good time. I'm looking forward to Friday. I'll
What
be
is
in
on
school.
Friday?
I'm in school on Friday, checking you out and see what's going on. So keep up the great work. So moving now across the center back of the head. I'm moving across the center, the back of the head. So I'm moving across the spine. So now I'm starting to move to the opposite side. And usually when we work in this fashion, we do this all the time. Work across the center back, maybe 2 sections, and then we repeat from the opposite side. How's the angle? What about if I spin here? Get in here. Yeah? This is going to be better. Okay, so let's look at that section. Section's nice and clean. When you're taking a section, thumb on the comb, take the section nice and clean. Then you can rotate the comb, and then you can pull that hair away. I always use clips. On shorter hair, clips are not necessary. You work with the hair damp, and on shorter hair, the hair will hold itself together when the hair's damp. It's really important as I come across the center back that I continue to pull this hair out at 90 degrees. The one thing that the razor really is very good at doing, you can eliminate weight, which will make the hair look and feel and appear shorter. So get right, you see, I get right into the section. You get right into that section, and then you just come right in, and you got to get a feel for the hair. So as the blade engages, you're really feeling through the hair. And the softness is creating space. When you create space, it means that the hair interlocks and moves together. So we can just have a little look and see the softness there. She's actually got pretty straight hair. Yeah, she's got pretty straight hair. But with the razor, you can actually get this pretty straight hair to have some rhythm and flow. It can have a bit more of a feel. You can see right here that we've come over the center back, so now it's time, and this is pre-existing haircut. So we're going to be modifying the shape because of the pre-existing haircut.
Okay, we have hello from Macon, Georgia.
Hey, Macon, Georgia. Whereabouts in Georgia, buddy?
Tillman, yeah?
Where?
Lee Tillman.
Lee Tillman. Hey, Lynn. Lee. Thanks for tuning in. I'm coming to Georgia. I'm doing a show in Atlanta in October. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a part of the BSG show work. So now we're going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. So you can see, I just had a little touch point to see where the length is. just exposing the bottom of the ear. So now what we'll do is we'll do exactly the same. I'm trying to think about what the right angle is. If I come here, it might be better for you, Aziza.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah? Because then you can actually see the section. When you're cutting hair with a razor, you really want to see the razor engage with the hair. When you're cutting hair with a scissor, yeah, you really, the scissor's doing the same thing all the time, pretty much. When you cut hair with a razor, because you can rotate the tool, you get a different effect and a different feel.
Okay, we have a reply from Lee. He says, "Can't wait."
Oh, good. I'm looking
then
forward.
we have hello from Wilmington, North Carolina,
Oh,
Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth. Did you come to our show in Raleigh? Oh, was you in Wilmington? How far away is Wilmington from Raleigh? I'm sure she'll get back to us in a second. We just did a big show in Raleigh, and we are planning to go back to Raleigh to Plum Hair Atelier. That's one of our salons that carries Arrojo product. It's an Arrojo ambassador salon. We were just there, and we did an event in a great venue down there, in a music venue. We did one of our exposés, and we had over 200 hairdressers join, and we had some great models, and we had a lot of fun. Next up for us is I'm going to be in Chicago. I'm flying into Chicago on Sunday night, and on Monday we are going to be doing an American Wave inspirational educational event for the Chicago Cosmetology Association. And if you want tickets, you can go to the Chicago show's website, America's Beauty Show, and you can purchase tickets. $25 for members of the organization and $35 for non-members. And if you're an ambassador, if you're part of the Arrojo Ambassador connection, then you can go to Arrojo, and we have a special discount code, gets you a ticket for $30. So we've already sold about 50% of the tickets. The show is next Monday, the 8th, and we'd love to see you there. We're going to be presenting American Wave, and we're going to be showing you how we change texture. And one of the things that I'll tell you about American Wave is it's a technique and that is trending so fast right now. Year to date, we've seen nothing but massive growth. So it's exciting.
We have a reply from Elizabeth. She says, about hour and a half. No, she didn't see it. Wish I knew about it. Would have been there.
So what you got to do is you got to check me out on Nick Arrojo Instagram, or check out my Facebook page. But my Instagram, I keep up to date a lot quicker, and that tells you everything that we're doing. You can also sign up for our weekly email blasts at Arrojo NYC, and we'll keep you connected to all the things that we are doing. And we are working on some special new things right now that we'll be launching this year to help our fellow hairdressers stay connected to us.
We have another hi from Julie. Hi Nick, a huge highlight for me was having the chance to assist you for Intrigue Salon. Loved watching you work, learning from you.
Well, thank you, Julie. I'll be going to Intrigue again soon, so maybe you can come and assist me again. Just reach out to Jeff.
Jeff is watching, by the way, too.
Oh, hey Jeff. You need a subscription, I hear. I'll hook you up, buddy. Don't you worry. I'll talk to you later.
We have Susan saying she wishes you had a salon in Phoenix.
Oh, I'm coming to Phoenix. I'm coming to Phoenix in October. I get around a lot. I've been traveling all the time. So Phoenix, I believe it's Phoenix, Arizona, and I believe it's in October. Go to Club Intrigue. That's my good buddy Jeff. He's got a great network of inspiration and community. It's called Club Intrigue, and I'm there as part of his Club Intrigue. And Goldwell is sponsoring me to get there, so that's great.
From Steven, he says, hey Nick, have you worn your upper left coast shirt there in the upper right coast?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's just dial it back in here. You can see the flat of the blade, and you can see me getting right in. Wide teeth of the comb, always combing. It's important to comb after every cut. She's not got a tricky hairline, but it grows in a unique fashion. So working with that, it's going to be, you just got to, the razor's really good for working with hairlines. Because rather than build up weight, what we do is we eliminate weight and the hairline becomes a heck of a lot softer. Now, one of the reasons I got into razor cutting was because I spent the first part of my career working for Vidal Sassoon. And all those Sassooners out there, as well you know, scissors only. So I love the precision-based philosophy of cutting, but I like the variation of having more than just a scissor to actually cut with. And I found that the razor can actually create slightly different effects while still being super precise.
We have Corey asking, how can we get information about becoming an Arrojo salon?
If you want to become an Arrojo Ambassador Salon, you can email me tonight, nick@arrojonyc.com. Or you can go to my website, Arrojo NYC, and if you go to the pro side of the store, the professional side, you can find out how to become an ambassador. And it will tell you all the features and benefits of how we are building our network one salon at a time. Because we don't sell our products through distributor. What we do is we sell our products direct. We have a direct business model. And I think it's a model that really works for me, because I like to personally be involved with all of the salons that we connect to. And in fact, in 2 weeks, we have what's called our Ambassador Summit, where we invite our ambassadors into New York, and we train a select number of them to be our anchors in their respective salons.
We have Tara saying that she loves you and she went to a class you did in Philly 6 years ago with the hard eyes.
Ah, well, are you going to come back? When are we going to see you again, Tara? Thanks for coming to see us in Philly. We love Philadelphia.
Daniel in Atlanta says, does anyone in Atlanta carry your razors?
Oh, well, you can buy the razors direct from Arrojo Pro. We have a professional store called Arrojo Pro, and we have about 6 different razors. We have scissors, brushes, tools, all of the Arrojo equipment. It's arrojopro.com, and sign up there and check it out if you're looking for razors, and we always have the blades. So you can see right now, let's dial right into that. You can see that kind of softness that we have. It's important you put your fingers through it. You want to make sure that, you see, it's sharp but soft. When you're checking, what you want to do is you want to put your fingers in to check. Now you can see how straight her hair is. I feel like maybe we need a little bit more refining right in here. So I'm going to grab Hydro Mist. Hydro Mist is $18. It's a lightweight spray conditioner. We can use it as a cutting tool. It adds sheen and some glisten to the hair, and it doesn't oversaturate the hair. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit more tactile, and I'm going to pinch. There's a New York fire engine going by. We're here in our Soho Academy. So you see, the nice thing about the razor, you really can get a little bit more soft and tactile with it. A straight edge razor's sharper and cleaner than a guarded razor. We do sell guarded razors also, and all of the razors that we sell come with a guard. In my cosmetology school, all my students are taught how to work with a guarded blade. And then what happens as we progress, we then slowly take them off the guard and get them into the straight edge. And the straight edge is better because you get a better connection to the hair, because you're not going to get, when you have a guard, the guard's the first thing to hit the hair.
Anna says she's watching you now together with her wonderful cosmetology students from River Grove, Illinois.
Oh, Illinois. Awesome. Well, we're excited to come back to Chicago next year for the Chicago show. That's going to be a big piece of what I'm doing next year, and hopefully I'll get to see all of your students. I'm just doing a little tipping in here. This is just like what we call tipping. So it's refining using the tip of the blade. You don't want the hair to get overly wet, but you don't want to cut the hair when it's dry. So what you'll do is you'll kind of push the hair around, allow the hair to dry out a little, so that you can see how the hair wants to move. Remember, hair in this world, for me, hair should move. Okay, I feel like we've completed the back for now. Now it's time for me to come to the front. I want to keep some of the length through here so that she's got some push. In other words, if we cut this too short, she's not going to be able to push it. I want it to have a very soft finish and feel. So let's start on the side where the hair is going to fall away from. So the hair is going to be pushed more this way. We're going to keep a lot of that length through the front, but let's work through the side where there's the least amount of hair. So I'm going to go back to my very first section. There's my very first section, and you can have a look here. But I cut the section like this, following the head shape. So now I'm going to rotate. So this has already been cut once, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take out a little bit more of the meat, or a little bit more of the weight within the hair. And then my sections, these sections were diagonal back, these sections are now going to be diagonal forward, because I'm going to start to over direct the hair backwards using the flat of the blade. Over direct the hair back. Now keep the hair nice and clean. In other words, keep your sections nice and clean. You want to be able to see the lightness of the skin at the scalp. And that's what I'm talking about. You want to be able to see right in here. And then right now, I can move this and rotate this backwards to retain even more length. So notice how I could keep all of that length. And if I want to make this a little flatter, I can go in with the tip and just texturize. And then I comb it back. Well, let's do one more section, because I got some other stuff in here, this short stuff, which I'm not scared of. You can see I'm moving into some of the pre-existing cut. We did 12 shows this year, Arrojo exposés, and Christina pretty much featured in most of the shows. And she's still got some hair left, yeah?
We have Tim Bricker saying, thanks for the education from BB Hair Color Studio.
Hey Tim, how you doing? Thanks for your support. Tim's got a great salon out there in Princeton, New Jersey. He's a great guy, and his team are just a great group of people, and his wonderful wife. So thanks for your support, Tim, and thanks for checking us out. You'll notice these sections are rotating. Yes, I'm scooping out using, this is like pretty advanced razoring because I'm using the flat of the blade. I've been razoring now for over 20 years, and the blade is really an extension of my fingertips. So it's kind of like an extension of my brain. I really get, it's really like sculpting, or it's like shading or shaping with a pencil. You're really sketching that hair in. We like to say it's slightly more organic feeling. It doesn't have to be weak and wispy just because you're working with a razor. Razor cutting is definitely not better than scissors. In fact, the two ladies behind me on camera, they both trained here in my salon. They're both amazing hairdressers, and they both were trained scissors first, a razor second. So you'll notice how the sections panned, rotated, until I came to this first section here. I'm pulling this directly out horizontal. I'm just going to use the tip of the blade to soften. You learn to look through the hair. And you see that length? That's the kind of length I was wanting to keep. Now, I might not keep all of it, but I'm definitely going to keep some of it. When I look at the hair, this bit here just doesn't do anything for me. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like this piece here. So that's what you've got to do. When you cut hair, you've got to learn to see what you like, and then you've got to learn to eliminate. So let's just eliminate a little of that.
There's thank you from Toronto, Canada.
Ooh, Canada.
Also, Martina Petrova. Hi Nick, thank you for sharing your talent. Even after long days on the road and salon, you still take time to share. These live demos are great. Thank you. Have huge respect for you.
My pleasure. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've not looked tired. 2 planes this morning. I was up at 4 o'clock. Yeah, it was tough. But I'm here. And you know what? You got to keep going. Yep, you got to keep pushing yourself. I'm lucky I enjoy what I do. We had a great event last night. We had over 100 hairdressers all come down to see us in Pensacola. And we had a great time. And you know, hairdressing is the best job in the world. It's social, it's creative, it compensates you really well. And you get loads of air miles. Okay, so just look what I just did. Yeah, just let me show you what I just did. So you see, remember that bit that I didn't like? This bit here, I took it out. But I still kept the length because then she can still push this away.
Okay, we have Tracy Hansen here. I'm not a stylist, but I watch your live broadcasts. I'm fascinated with these razor cuts. I've been trying to get my stylist to do this for me for ages.
Okay, so 2 things. Number 1, I have a great school if you want to become a hairdresser. and number 2, you can get your hairdresser to come to Razor Fundamentals here in New York.
Great.
And we can teach your stylist how to become great at razor cutting.
We have a question, first question about the haircut. What does the rotating in the sectioning do versus diagonal forward? From Julie.
Okay. When I'm rotating the section, like so, this is what she's asking. So I started diagonal forward and then rotated. What I'm doing is, rather than moving forward, I'm keeping in the same place and I'm eliminating the hair. So if you look at my comb, I can cut the hair this way to keep it more consistent. So I kept all the length consistently here and here. I'm going to do the same thing here. It's a subtle difference, not a huge difference, but sometimes those subtle differences really count. And honestly, when you start cutting hair with a razor, what happens is all of that fundamental technique that you've learned with scissor cutting, it doesn't go out of the window, but it's just like driving a car. Everything becomes so much more automatic. So you kind of feel the cut as much as you do the cut technically. We are cutting lines into the hair, but what we're not doing is we're not cutting blunt lines. We're cutting soft, seamless lines. So right now this is diagonal forward. I've got to stop in a second to check the opposite side. As much as I want the shape to be balanced, it doesn't have to be perfectly even. Because we're working on something that's a little bit more playful, soft, and I'm working on hair that's very straight, I kind of have to get in tune with the fabric of the hair. So I'll just take a little second there, stand behind the client, just have a look and see, because it's trending fractionally longer through the right. So I know that it's a little longer through the right, so now what I can do is I can be a little bit more aggressive. So now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate those sections. Let me drop Christina down, get her in a better position for me, more comfortable. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start to mow the flat of the blade. Okay, so I'm right on top. So now I'm looking right down the hair. I'm looking right on top. Probably a very similar angle to you. The camera's close to my shoulder. And I'm melting that hair away. And I'm going to stop right there because I can see that length. I want to check in on this side. So I think we are getting a little bit, maybe just a little bit longer. So a little bit of moisture. Just Like a little bit of moisture. You don't want to raise the dry hair. When you raise the dry hair, you'll see the hair split and it becomes white, just like when you burn your hair and you see the cuticle kind of shrivel. You don't want to do any of that. So now let's rotate these sections. This rotation and elevation is going to enable me to keep more length towards the front. It's a better angle for me. Can you see that, Aziz?
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it nice and clean, so just bring that up. Let's take that out of the way. Keep it nice and clean. I really like to work clean, but I also really like to work quickly. In the salon, I book on the 45-minute. I tend to cut in 15 to 20 minutes. I am a productive stylist, and I like to do, you know, up to 10 to 12 clients a day. That to me is kind of the perfect benchmark model for any professional stylist. And you also want to charge what I call premium pricing. Now I'm on the top. Watch what happens. Grab, pull. I'm pulling everything from the underneath. So I grab my fingers under here. I grab, pull, slide out. I feel and see the hair fall away. And I just melt that hair right out.
Michael
Using the
wants to know
flat of the blade.
where he can find a wooden razor.
We've got amazing handcrafted wooden razors on arrojopro.com. So go to arrojopro.com and we have beautiful wooden razors. 4 different types of wood. And they really are handcrafted, made in America. This razor itself is made in Japan. This is a prototype. But I made a better wood one. And it's a little skinnier around where the hold is. So around here it's a little slimmer. The shaft's the same, and it takes feather plié blades. So, but you know, I've got 3 salons, and I cut hair in Atlanta as well. So I got 4 tool rolls all over. I got a tool roll in every salon, and 1 in Atlanta, so I've got different razors all over the place. That's why I'm not using my latest handcrafted one. Okay, so now we're at the same point that we were at before. Remember, I wanted to keep the length in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that off you. Thanks, Kimberly, a little of my Hydro Mist magic. And we're going to scoop out around the temple. So stay right there. And I'll spin this chair just a little. And I'll show you how we do that. And this should be a pretty good shot. I'm looking in here, I just don't know. I think that might need just a little bit more work. Right in there. So right now, let's come in. And let's melt some of that hair away. Just so it's a little cleaner around the face. Flat of the blade. So just look at the stroke. Look how many strokes I take just to melt that hair away. Final section. Then just let me look in here, because there's something there that I'm not happy with. And that's always good, to keep your eye on the prize, keep your eye on your work. It's a lot harder when you're demonstrating in front of a camera. You're spending no time looking at the overall composition. You're really focusing so much more on detail. So, of course, demonstrating is something that we do, and we've done it well for a very long time, so we are, you know, pretty good at it. But it's still not as good as if you just was silent or talking to your client and just completely in the moment working on your work. But always keep an eye on what's happening. As the hair dries, you'll see different things happening. Okay. So now it's time for me to have a look and see what we've got with the front. So we want to keep the length, and just pull this hair up. That's great. You can see how we've sat the hair in right around the temple area. She's got great bone definition here, great bone structure. So I didn't do that, my mother did, and her dad. But now let's show you how we're going to keep length. Okay, so we want to keep the length, but we don't need all of it. So I'm going to take a deep triangle. It's a deep triangle here. And I'll put your head down just a little, Christina, so as easy as I can get you. And we'll do a deep triangle right here. From all the way from the crown, all the way to the recession, or what we call like the, you know, the hairline recession area. Let's take this section, and just for cleanliness, let's clip that away with my favorite Arrojo clips. And now what we're going to do is I am actually going to layer this side in. I'm going to work on this side first because this side's got more hair. So my sections are going to follow the head shape. We're going to follow from the back, working into the front. So if I comb that out, you can see this hair here is going to be taken away. I'm going to drop it down just a little. A little bit of hydro mist. I'm going to elevate first. I'm going to keep my razor nice and open. I've done all the hard work. This is now the easy stuff. Yeah, and I'm using more the flat of the blade. When we go to use the flat of the blade, that gives you maximum taper. So well, you've got to be very careful and choose the hair that you do this on wisely. Not all hair will behave in the same way when you're tapering. I've got to know Christina's hair. I don't think I really cut her hair before. I may have done a little bit of tweaking at one point on one of the shows, but I don't really know her hair as well as I've got to know it right now. And notice how I'm moving my feet. Yeah, I know you can't see my feet, but I know you can't see my feet, but I can tell you because you just pull away, because I'm here, and then I move and I'm here, because I want to look through the hair, and then I come through here, and then I come through here. So when you're razor cutting, come back, when you're razor cutting, you really are moving on your feet so much more. So right now to the back, using the tip of the blade. Yeah, and every section I can use different parts of the blade and different techniques. So right here, tipping, but I also, tipping's not going to take off length. So now I'll take off some length. Look at the underneath. Let me go down and see the underneath, because the underneath here, see where the underneath is? It's right here. I got to blend this in. So we'll bring that down. Now I'm going to use a very open stroke. A very open stroke, and I'm going to lift this hair up and tip into the hair. An open stroke is going to take away more of the density. So a nice open stroke, creating maximum softness. See the softness that's left in my hands? Super wide open stroke. Notice how it's not the wrist, but it's just the finger. And the great thing with the razor also, you can approach hair from the underneath up. You can approach hair from the top down. It gives you a lot of variation. So it really is something that when you master, you'll use it a lot. So right here, we're going to over direct this back. We're not necessarily going to connect it in. Combing that back. Now the nice thing with creative cutting is you're looking through the visual. I'm looking through the hair. I want to see consistency. This is a precision-based haircut.
Rosemary says, Nick, you're the best.
Well, thank you, Rosemary. Thanks for checking us out. We're going to do a lot more of these Facebook Lives. I've got a lot of ideas, so we can really share what we're doing as much as possible. Yeah. And something that's coming up too, which I want you all to look into. There was a program that I started myself. There was a program out of England called Mastered, Hair Mastered. It was created, the hair portion was curated and managed by a very successful session stylist, Sam McKnight. So someone that I've known since I got into the industry. It was an online experience which really helped you to understand what it's like to become a session stylist. I did the program because I wanted to find out A, more tips of the trade, B, I wanted to experience all of the education, and C, I needed something for me. Yeah, I run my own company, I run my own business. Since that program has finished, it was a great 4-month program. Since that program has finished, they have since now begun to start on the next phase. And there's a program next year where there'll be only 200 candidates, and it will be almost a year-long program with personal tuition online. Go to master.com to check it out. Let them know Nick sent you. It's something that I did, and we're going to have a meet and greet. I believe it's a week on Thursday. What day's a week on Thursday? Is that the 10th or the 11th? Do you know? Is it on that fancy iWatch of yours?
Let me see. It's right now.
I'll find out. They're both looking at Thursday the 11th. Thursday the 11th, they're going to have a little meetup here in New York. I'll be there, so if you're interested, reach out to Mastered and find out whether you can come and find out what it's all about. I can't say enough good things about it. Okay, let's just dial back. Big triangle, connected in, so you can see the movement in the hair. And now we want to keep all this length. So we don't just leave this length like a dollop, because that wouldn't look good. Because when we comb this hair down, yeah, you can see that there's no real connectivity in here.
We have a question from Julie.
Mm-hmm.
She says she's in her 30 years as stylist. She's working on mastering the shears now. She wants to know when's the best time to start with the razor.
Oh, when you've mastered scissor cutting. Yeah, master scissor cutting first. If you really want to master scissor cutting, we have great scissor classes here in New York. I also have a great technical series of DVDs, or you can go to my online subscription. It's $30 a month, and we have what I consider to be the classics. Yeah, the classic DVDs, the classic techniques. And what are the classics? The classics are classic one-length bob, classic graduated bob, classic long layer, classic short square layer, classic round graduation, tight graduation, and short graduation. So they're the classics. Okay, so now let's talk about what we're doing. Now we're actually going to be creating an angle. So from the back, we're going to be creating an angle, and we're going to cut the hair in this way, but we're going to create transparency and translucency. What did you get, Kimalisa? Oh, there they are. And these are vintage now, because DVDs are becoming a thing of the past. Yeah? So if you're interested in a collector's item, the DVDs, they are $70. And you get 3 full haircuts in each one. Okay, so as I'm looking through here, taking this section, I'm looking at the length here. I want to simplify, so you can see right here it's a little weak. It's not got enough of a flow. So the first thing we do is we go and get more of a flow. But we get more of a flow in here by creating an angle, yeah? And then the second thing we do is I'm just going to come in with the tip of the blade, and I'm just very lightly catching the top surface. Next section. Coming through. Now by using the hydro mist in the hair still has enough moisture that I can cut. When you're working on heavily processed hair, she used to have bright pink for our Cosmic Pop collection, but we kind of like the way it's faded out. So we like the pinkness of it. We're not doing color today, but I feel like even though there's a little root, it's still really great. Now when you look in here, you're looking for some consistency, guys. You don't want to gouge. You don't want to put a big hole in. You want it to be weightless. And when you comb the hair, you want to see consistency of density. Yeah. That was the old haircut, which I like. And that's great, that little short piece there, because we were working a lot with clashing of lengths and textures. And now I can just feel it. I'm not going to spray the hair down really anymore. I'm going to prevent myself from spraying the hair down. Melissa, did we get a dryer here?
Yeah.
Do you want to check and see? Because I think I saw if she comes through my stuff, it might be over there. Okay, so all that was that way. Now let's come this way. Yeah, I knew I shouldn't have said I'm not going to wet it, because I'm going to have to wet it right here. So, just right there. There you go. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So you see, it's a bit. It was a bit square there. Just going to blend that in.
Becky from Pittsburgh says,
Pittsburgh.
"You're the best."
Oh, thanks, Becky. You're the best. So, coming from the back, flat of the blade. Coming from the back. If you're looking for something really good to do this year for education, Arrojo has its big show. It's called Arrojo Expo. It's on October the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. It's designed for both the hair stylist and the salon owner. 2 full days. If you're a hairdresser, you can do hands-on. If you're an owner, you can do 2 days of business with Arrojo. And we have a great business program that we're going to be launching. So we're really into education. And we also have 2 great nights of entertainment. Saturday night, we'll be entertaining part of our welcoming committee into our cosmetology school. It's a 13,000 square foot facility. And then Sunday night, we've got this great club called the Marquee. Christina's going to be there, she's hot. So, yeah.
Okay, we have a question.
Yeah.
In the past, from Dale, in the past we were told that the razor could grow out with a split-looking ends.
Yeah.
Has this been correct?
Well, you know what? If it's cut well, it will grow out well. If it's cut poorly, it will grow out poorly. And it won't look good in the beginning. Most hairdressers, unfortunately, don't get solid razor training. American hairdressers predominantly are trained with a stick razor or with a carving comb. And they're texturizing tools. You can see I've done this full haircut here with a straight edge blade, full haircut. And you can see that we do have softness, but the integrity of the softness happens in the final 2 inches. If I go in and start scraping down the cuticle, yeah, it's going to look horrible in a week. And it's probably going to look horrible in about 5 minutes. So, as with anything, bad haircut will grow out badly if it's not cut well. Good haircut grows out good if it's cut well. That was pretty cool. I'm kind of happy with that.
Katie here says, I attended your first bootcamp course and carry Arrojo in my salon in Toronto.
Yay!
You are the best.
Hey, how are you? You good? I gotta come to Toronto. I want to go to Vancouver. No, I do gotta go to Vancouver because I have some friends up there. I want to go to Montreal. Someone invite us up to Montreal.
Yeah, we've got visitors right there.
Hey! See that? This is it. This is where it all happens.
They look like hairdressers.
They're definitely hairdressers.
They are.
They're definitely hairdressers. They're on TV. Okay, blow dryer. I put a lot of hydro mist in. Hydro mist is a lightweight soap. It's like a conditioner with glycerin. I'm going to dry it with nothing else in it because I got some new tester products I'm going to play with. You know, when we're developing hair products, we test them. And we test them on clients. That's how we test our products. So, Arrojo products, we've been in existence now for about 7 years. We've been selling professionally to salons. Oh, pictures! Out there on the street. Awesome.
Should I open the door?
And we're going to be launching a new addition to the Arrojo line next year, because American Wave has been such a big hit for us that we've been working on a specific textured focus line. So that's going to be called Arrojo American Wave. And you know, I've been working with some great manufacturers to develop the product, and we're going to try some of that product right now. We'll see how it goes. One product I've not used that much at all. In fact, one product I've not used at all, so we'll see whether we like it.
Beautiful, says Lori.
I think the nice thing about this cut is just look at the back. Yeah? No, it's the back really. Might need a little scissor work. I got some great scissors over there. A little scissor work just to clean it up. But the soft, you know, because of the razor, you get all that great softness.
Angela here says, I would absolutely love to have my hair done by you. Amazing stylist.
Well, I'm booking on Thursday. I'm booking on Friday. I'm booking on Saturday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin around into the mirror so I can kind of get a bit of an idea of what we're doing. Because obviously, you know what I think we'll do is we'll stand. Do you want to grab that, Kim Elisa? Stand up, Christina. We'll stand over here. I'm going to pull this chair over a little bit closer. There you go. Take your seat. Maybe come behind me. Yeah? Maybe you can come behind me. You can see, like up in the mirror, yeah? So you can see, you know, like your hands are your best tools, right? Your hands are your best tools. And just push the hair around. Now that product that we had in it, that Hydro Mist, is just a lightweight silky conditioner. There's a couple of wisps. Pass me my Arrojo B-Max. Thanks, great scissors.
Okay, there's a question from Becky.
Hey Becky.
Can I come to your salon and watch you all day?
Oh, great question. I tell you what, Becky, you can come to my salon and watch us for 3 hours. 3 hours. And I'll tell you what you have to do. Email me. Nick@Arrojo NYC. And the reason why we say 3 hours, and the reason why it has to be pre-planned, anyone can come in for a tour at any time. Everybody's always welcome in my salon. So if you're passing through New York and you want to come in and say hi, you can. You want to have a tour, we'd love it. But if you want to come in to spend some time hanging out, we need to let the staff know so they know who you are. We also need to give you the ground rules, because the way in which I run my business is I want the clients are going to think you work for me. So we want to tell you what the expectation is. And it's really basic stuff, like, you know, not chewing gum, not leaning on walls, just, you know, basic stuff like that. But it's always better to forewarn people, because then if all of a sudden someone's sat leaning against a wall, or naturally accidentally chewing gum, then we're going to go up to them and say, you shouldn't really be doing that.
Could you please repeat the email for Becky?
N-I-C-K, Nick@Arrojo, ARROJO, NYC.com. Did you get it?
I hope so. Okay, question from Dale. Any thoughts on the hot razor?
You know what, Dale? I tried the hot razor, and I found it to be a little too I didn't dislike it, but I didn't need it to be plugged in, and I felt like the one that I've got is the sharpest blade in the business. You know, I find in this industry of ours, there's always new ways and new tools and new things. Yeah, I've been using the same razor for 15 years. Same style. I don't replace my razors. Yeah, I don't need to. They're great, well crafted, $150. I never have to worry about it. It's the same thing with scissors, yeah? How many different styles of scissor are there in the world? Hundreds and hundreds. But when I got into hairdressing in 1802 BC, when I got into hairdressing, it was just, you know, there was small scissors and offset handles. And that was it, yeah? Whereas today, there's so many tools, and I feel fine, yeah? I'm not ambidextrous, but I'm fine, so I like things simple and classic.
Okay, Susan thanks us for the tutorials.
Good, thanks, Susan. We're going to be announcing the next one. One of the ones that I want to do for everybody is I want to do razor. This is razor graduation, because it's a graduated shape. But I want to do real razor graduation. So I want to show people how different graduation with a razor is from graduation with a scissor. This is just a little refining. So I'm taking my scissor and just pointing. And as I come through, I'm just pointing into the back side of the hair, and I'm kind of thinning it out from the inside. It's the most replicative of razor cutting that you can find when you're cutting with a scissor. And then do you know what we should do? We should get you, Aziza, to do some braiding.
Why not?
The camera girl who's holding this camera, Aziza, whose voice you've heard, she's a brilliant fashion stylist. And her braid work is second to none. So stay connected to us, and we'll get her on the Facebook Live thing soon too. And that's the beauty of having a great big team. Yeah, we all have special skills. So our special skills we can borrow to each other, and you know, the teamwork makes the dream work.
Nick, there is a question from Kim. What straight razor do you use?
It is a feather plie Arrojo razor. And do you want to bring me that dryer over, please? Kim, Melissa? That dryer? Good. Sorry, I'll be back. So, feather plie razor. They come in different styles, and we sell the Arrojo one. This is a prototype. It's exactly the same now. Same handle, only this one's made of wood. We do have wooden handled ones, and that's it. And your razor cut, just like that. Oh, I like the way you did that, see. Okay, let's give this hair a blast, and then I'm going to spray some of that new spray wax in the hair. You can see she's got a beautiful tan. I sprayed it earlier for her. When she came in, she was as white as me. But we sprayed her, we took her in the spray booth. That's what the hand twist does for you, eh? Okay, some people have to work. Yeah, she's out making everybody work with it. So what I like here is, see that little length? That little length behind the back of the ears? Let's try this new product. Hot off the press. Oh, hot out the box. So this is a spray wax. We've not had a spray wax out ever. So let's try it and see what it does. I wanted to bring out spray wax to give the hair a little bit more. I found this great company that we've been working with, and we commissioned them to create some products for us. They already do make some of our great product, but we commissioned them to do like some new extension work for the brand. I don't want to overload the hair, but I can start to feel the sheen and the memory and the polish in the hair. It smells good, yeah. Well, my boy, my good old English friend, Andy O'Shea, he's my fragrance guy. He's the best. But you can see straight away what this is doing. It's giving it that little, you know, flex and control. So it's kind of lived in and it's very workable. It's not stiff. Look how pliable it is. So that's pretty spectacular, the way I can get that. I think don't want to go crazy, but we always tell people when they're trying out products to really test drive them by working with them a lot. But first impression, that feels really good. I knew that they would do me a good spray wax. Look at that holds together.
Christina, I'm wondering if the spray wax available yet?
No, it just came in today. It's not even out yet. My hope is that that spray wax will be available in January of 2017. When you develop hair products, it takes time to, one, go through the testing point, and then two, once you feel like you've got the product perfectly working, then you have to produce it. And production time takes a long time when it comes to product.
Okay, Kat says, Peter Coppola Hair Salon Boca Raton says, love, 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 and thanks for the schooling.
Ah, my pleasure. Thank you. So that wax came out pretty good, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. Smells pretty good too, doesn't it?
Hello, Nick, from the part-time class 9 in Rebecca.
Part-timers!
What advice to do you have for your... Sorry.
Can you speak in English now?
No.
What advice do you have for your students?
Oh, very simple. Go to school. Advice, whatever you want you can have, start working on it now. Yeah, you're building your reputation right now. So please make sure that you turn up, you're on time, your reputation's good, you do your best. It doesn't matter how good you are with your skill set, but what is important is you really, really dream big and stay focused. Another piece of advice to tell all my staff too, don't be over-influenced by anybody else. Stay focused on your own ambition and your own drive, and you will get what you need in life. And never give up on your dream.
Thank you from Main Changers Salon, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Flow rider. I like my flow rider.
Florida.
I got a place in Florida. Wow.
What's that dress?
Sorry?
What's that dress?
Oh, you want to go? I got a place in Florida.
Nick, will you be at New York International Show at Jacob Javits Center in March 2017?
I'm hoping to be this year. Yeah, I didn't go for the last 2 years because I opened up a new school and I opened up a new salon, 2 new salons, and you know, I need to take a little bit of time out just to focus on that. I think we did it. What do you think? You think it was?
I love it.
Is this
Amazing.
Is this what you wanted?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is good.
It's my style, but I feel so comfortable.
Yeah. So we see what we did. Let's give you a recap. Nice shot. Razoring in through the nape. Razoring in through the nape, following the head shape. Then what we did was we connected from the back into the front, so she's got the length in here. Then she can have that length so she can push it back and it sits in nice and tight. We did exactly the same on this side. Exactly the same on this side. And then we took a nice deep triangle here, leaving all this length out. I connected the sides in, razoring it out, and then I just kept all this length. And we just balanced the length, and if you look at it from the side, if you look at it maybe profile, yeah, you can see that there's a line there. There's a line that's definitely tailored in. and then I finish with my new spray wax, which it may not be called spray wax when it comes out. Yeah, but just so that you know, it's coming, because I felt good about that. I can call the guy tomorrow and say, I think we have a hit. And the spray wax, you see, look what it does. See how much memory? Yeah. You know, like so here she could easily, you know, if she wanted to, you know, give it a little pompadour action, she could easily pin that hair away. It gives her the flexibility. Also gives her the flexibility to be a little bit more rock and roll and loose if she so chooses. It's a shame because I had another product I wanted to try too, but I think this is going to be enough. I hope you enjoyed it, and check us out. Check out Arrojo NYC Instagram. Check out Arrojo, Nick Arrojo's Instagram. Say hi, and I'll be back on Facebook Live within a week. Aziza, you guys come and say goodbye. Aziza, Kimalisa.
Bye. See you next time.
Thank you. Have a great night, guys, and I really appreciate it.